soon, but again, you'll see fire trucks at this point, westbound 37 and Wilson Avenue. Aside from that, that's it in terms of any trouble. We do have a high wind advisory in effect for the Dunbarton Bridge. Even the slow traffic we have been seeing leaving Holgate Park and the Outside Lands Festival in San Francisco has now dissipated. Your next update at 12:08 on the traffic leader KCBS.
Mostly cloudy tomorrow at the coast, clearing along the bay, sunny all day inland with highs ranging from the upper 60s to low 70s at the coast to the mid 80s inland. It's almost Monday, August 8th, 2022, coming up on KCBS.
I'm Jeffrey Shao. An arrest is made in a brutal attack on an Asian American and veteran San Francisco commissioner.
I'm Alice Wirtz, coming together to rally against hate for elderly members of one community.
And Senate Democrats deliver on a bill to address climate change, lower health care costs, and raise corporate taxes. I'm Peter Finch. CBS News covers the world next.
When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Honesty Station.
Midnight. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Tom Foti in Washington. The other chamber of Congress, the House, still has to vote and will come back from summer recess to do it this week. But Senate Democrats have passed a fully partisan bill containing some 700 pages of tax, energy, and climate changes, many other things too, bundled into a spending bill that took serious politicking to stitch together. That in the face of full Republican opposition.
This pivotal final vote took place after a more than 24-hour marathon session by the Senate that included votes on dozens of amendments and some last-minute drama and behind-the-scenes negotiations. But in the end, Vice President Kamala Harris delivered the tie-breaking vote to pass the climate and health care bill known as the Inflation Reduction Act through an evenly divided Senate. Democrats calling it historic and once-in-a-generation legislation. Republicans calling it a tax and spending spree.
Correspondent Natalie Ryan. In and around Albuquerque, there are fears in the Muslim community of a possible serial killer targeting Muslim men.
Local, state, and federal police are stepping up efforts after Friday's shooting of Naeem Hussein, the third Muslim man murdered in Albuquerque in less than 2 weeks. 41-year-old Aftab Hussein was killed on July 26, and 27-year-old Mohammed Afzal Hussein on August 1st.
Correspondent Lilia Luciano. Just out of COVID isolation, President Biden plans to visit eastern Kentucky today as it copes with the disastrous flooding that followed heavy rains. Jennifer Ritchie and her family are among the survivors, but just barely their oasis of safety was their roof.
We held on for a couple of hours until he was able to pull us to the roof. Really all that we could see is when it was lightning, and it was just devastation, and it was just a sea of rapid water.
Which took most everything they had except each other. In a federal court in Georgia, 3 white men who chased and killed unarmed black man Ahmaud Arbery today face a second round of criminal penalties. They already have been sentenced to life in prison for murder. One man is dead, a child is in critical condition, 4 others hurt in a softball park shooting in Atlanta, and 4 people were shot in a Pittsburgh shooting, 1 has died. Now to Ukraine, correspondent Charlie Daggett reporting on efforts to get badly needed Ukrainian grain to other parts of the world in the middle of a war.
Ukraine and Russia together account for more than 40% of Africa's wheat, according to the African Development Bank. But the war has already led to a shortage of 30 million tons of food in Africa, sending food prices soaring around the globe.
Still upset with Nancy Pelosi's visit, China's just carried out fresh military drills around Taiwan. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must not waste your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all that sets up with that your phone was out. Put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
If baby could talk, she'd say a lot. You'd know
what she's thinking and what makes her happy. But unfortunately, baby can't talk or remind you. You're the one taking her to daycare today, and she won't speak up if you drive straight to work like any other day and never think to look in the backseat. Every year, dozens of kids die from heat stroke in cars. No one is perfect, so set a reminder, and always look before you lock. Where's Baby? Paid for by NHTSA.
In South America, a one-time rebel is now the president of Colombia, the first leftist president there ever. Remember those TV sitcom ladies of the 1980s? Well, their spirit lives on in a different kind of venue.
Thank you for being a friend. A vacant Beverly Hills bistro has been transformed into the set of The Golden Girls. Reservations have been going fast at the newly opened The Golden Girls Kitchen, where they serve plenty of cheesecake. Naturally, the pop-up only has reservations through the end of October, but there are plans to take it on the road to New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and of course, Miami. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
The Florida prosecutor promises to fight his suspension from office by Governor DeSantis over his promise not to enforce the state's 15-week abortion ban. Asian financial markets closing mostly higher. U.S. market futures have turned up too. Dow futures now up 66 points. Tom Bodie, CBS News.
It's 12:05 at the Bay Area's news station, KCBS. Highs for your Monday ranging from the upper 60s to the mid-80s. Good morning, I'm Peter Finch. Here's what's happening. There's been an arrest in connection with the attack on a veteran San Francisco commissioner. Gregory Chu was walking along 3rd Street last Tuesday night when he was hit and punched repeatedly and knocked to the ground by a man who'd been riding a bicycle. KCBS's Jeffrey Shao reports the suspect, 35-year-old Derek Yarby, is in custody, booked on several charges.
Police say Derek Yarby was arrested just before 11:30 a.m. in the area of 8th and Market Streets after officers recognized him as a suspect in the attack. The beating of Gregory Chu, a former City Arts Commission member, was considered especially vicious. The 70-year-old suffered a badly bruised eye and broken shoulder and initially became unconscious at the scene. The incident comes after a wave of attacks on Asian Americans in San Francisco and Oakland. SFPD spokesperson Officer Catherine Witter said investigators did not know yet if race was a factor.
That can certainly change depending on interviews with the suspect. But as of right now, based on the circumstances of the initial incident, nothing was said or done during that incident that would allow us to charge with a crime.
Witter said police have had contact with Yarby in the past. Will be looking to determine whether he may have been a suspect in other attacks on members of the Asian American community. Jeffrey Shao, KCBS.
A rally in San Francisco Sunday brought together a coalition of Asian American organizations united against hate. KCBS's Alice Wirtz was there.
A couple hundred people gathered in Washington Square Park in North Beach, rallying to stop Asian hate. Justin Ju gave his message in both English and Chinese to the crowd that stood on the lawn, holding signs denouncing violence against elderly Asian Americans.
We're here to demand real action by veterans. Our elected leaders.
From the park, they marched on Columbus Street up to Grand Avenue in Chinatown. Some spoke of cultural competency and multi-language resources as being helpful to restoring a sense of safety in this community.
And because they don't speak English and they have the resources that we do, have not been coming out.
SFPD officer Tom Lee understands the challenges and reassured that SFPD is committed to protecting everyone's safety.
We see more than women speak out and ask for assistance, more so than before. As a department, we do have a lot of officers who are certified in multiple languages, including Chinese, that can certainly listen to the concerns and help address these matters.
Alice Wirtz, KCBS.
Coming up on KCBS, wildfires prompting new evacuations in Northern California. Right now, we want to check those roads. We go to the KCBS traffic desk and Frank Munich.
We're not looking at much in the way of trouble around the Bay Area. In fact, we're really looking at only two weather advisories that are worth mentioning. Neither is a fog advisory, incidentally. We're not seeing really anything in the way of Tulsa. It is a bit blustery, though. We do have a high wind advisory in effect for Highway 580 over the Altamont Pass and Highway 84 over the Dumbarton Bridge. That high wind advisory has been out there for a couple of hours. What we don't have any of is any slow traffic that we can see on the roadways left around the Bay Area. Even the bit of slow and go we had in downtown San Francisco, leaving the Outside Lands Music Festival in Golden Gate Park has now dissipated. The Golden Gate Bridge and Bay Bridge look free and clear. Your next update at 12:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Partly to mostly cloudy overnight, lows mid-50s to low 60s. Later on, the clouds will linger at the coast, but it'll clear up along the bay, leaving you with sunny skies. It'll be sunny all day inland. Highs later today, upper 60s to low 70s at the coast, 70s along the bay, mid-80s inland. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9. and AM 740 KCBS.
A bad team facing a good team is never completely out of it. Nick Costos, co-host of You Better You Bet, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on the BetQL network. There's 162 games in the season. The best teams are going to lose 60-plus times, and the worst teams are going to win 60-plus times. Each night is its own individual entity. That's what makes betting on the baseball regular season so much fun. All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costos and Ken Barkley, streaming weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey.
KCBS News Time, 12:10. A collection of wildfires in Humboldt and Trinity counties in the northwest part of California has prompted a series of evacuation orders. The Six Rivers Lightning Complex, which began as a dozen lightning-caused blazes on Friday, consists of 8 active fires burning in steep, rugged terrain and encompassing nearly 1,300 acres with 0% containment as of Sunday morning, according to the U.S. Forest Service. The fires burning lands largely within the Six Rivers National Forest, hence the name, the Six Rivers Lightning
Approaching
Complex.
a railroad crossing.
The massive firefighting effort continued Sunday on the McKinney Fire, the state's largest wildfire right now. Public Information Officer Mike Glenberry telling KCBS.
Well, right now the fire is at 60,271 acres and 40% contained. We've been able to bring more resources in. We have over 3,500 firefighters working this fire.
The bodies of 4 people have been recovered from the burn area. 87 homes and another 47 structures have been destroyed in the fire 1 week after it broke out in the Klamath National Forest. Temperatures are expected to be near triple digits again today. That, combined with the dry conditions and winds, means the fire could continue to challenge firefighters. To the west of the McKinney Fire, the Yeti Fire continues to grow in size near the town of Happy Camp. That fire was sparked by lightning more than a week ago. It's burned nearly 8,000 acres and is now 19% contained. In Mariposa County, though, the Oak Fire burning near Yosemite is now 94% contained after destroying nearly 170 homes and structures. Authorities in Placer County are asking for the public's help finding a missing 16-year-old girl last seen early Saturday at a campground party in Truckee. Kylie Rodney was at a party of more than 100 juveniles and young adults at the Prosser Family Campground off State Route 89 in Truckee. She was last seen about 12:30 in the morning Saturday. Lindsay Rodney Neiman, the girl's mother, in a video posted by the Placer County Sheriff's Department, has issued a plea to anyone who might have information about her daughter.
If anybody else out there, if you know where she is, if you know anything about where she might be,
I don't know what that was, but that scared me.
Please come forward and share them, and
it's scary.
And we're not looking to like bust anybody else or get anybody in trouble. We just want to see our daughter home.
Kylie Rodney's vehicle, a silver 2013 Honda CR-V with California plate 8YUR127, is also missing. Her phone's been out of service since the party. She's described as Caucasian, 5'7", 115 pounds, with blonde hair, hazel eyes, last seen wearing Dickies brand green pants and a black tank top. Rodney has numerous piercings, including a nose ring. Anyone with information is asked to call the Placer County Sheriff's Department. We'll check sports in 2 minutes.
I can create a future that I look forward to.
I can get where I was meant to go.
I can transfer to a 4-year university.
When you pursue an associate degree for transfer at a California community college, you're on your way to earning your guaranteed safe spot at a 4-year university.
With an associate degree for transfer, I can do this.
Classes can fill up quickly, so enroll today at icangotocollege.com.
Attention, are you missing teeth? Bay Area Mini Dental Implant Center has a solution for you.
So I heard on the radio about Bay Area Mini Dental Centers in America. I've had other implants that are really invasive. This is the first time I've had an implant that was painless and really, really less invasive. Within an hour, the whole process was done after put in the implant. I left, I came back with a crown. It was great. Thank you.
Replacing missing teeth is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Come to our free consultation and find out what we can do for you. Call Bay Area Mini Dental Implant Center at 833-GOT-MINI. 833-GOT-MINI. Have you been told you don't have enough bone? Mini implants require less bone than traditional implants. That's 833-466-6464 for a truly free consultation. Financing available.
Discover the poetry of aging at Sonnet Hill Senior Living. Poetry doesn't have boundaries. Life seldom follows a script. Sonnet Hill, we specialize in celebrating unique expressions of lives well lived. While we all have basic needs at Sonnet Hill, we've designed our spaces, crafted our programs, and trained our staff to meet your individual personal needs. Celebrate our 1-year anniversary and get $500 off the monthly rent for the first 3 months. Call us today or visit us at sonnethill.com.
Coming up on KCBS, a new study is about to begin on the long-term effects of COVID. KCBS News Time is 12:16. Let's get right to sports now. Baseball, the Giants ended up taking both games over the weekend from the A's at the Coliseum. They won Sunday's game 6-4. With more sports, here's KCBS's Kevin Radich.
Here's one story you might not have heard about Ben Scully. We have a friend who is a great singer and songwriter named Christy McWilson. When she was just a kid growing up in Fullerton, she went out for a hike in the hills near her home, climbed up to the top of a large water tank, couldn't get back down, yelled for help. A man living at the base of the hill heard her cries, ran up the hillside, climbed to the top of the tank and carried her down. It was Vince Scully. In his final broadcast in 2016, Vinny, as part of his sign-off to the fans, said,
I know in my heart that I've always needed you more than you've ever needed me.
That was not the case, certainly for Christy McWilson, who had that Leave It to Beaver moment, and Ben came to the rescue. One great voice helping another. From a 2000 CD of The Lucky One, produced by Dave Alvin, written and performed by a grateful Christy McWilson. This report dedicated to the man who got her down from the water tank, the late great Vince Scully. At the sports desk, Kevin Radich, KCBS.
Have weekend plans? Take us along for the ride.
The weather's been spectacular, and so we're really excited.
Day, night, and weekend, we keep you up to date on the news, traffic, and weather.
Well, we're standing in some really fine weather right now as we look forward to the show.
We open gates at 10:30 a.m. and music starts at 12.
It's one more reason why we're the Bay Area's #1 news station. Full news, all the time, right here on KCBS.
Let's get one of those traffic reports right now from Frank Munich.
What are your plans? For 19?
Okay, Frank. All right, for some reason, we are not getting Frank where we're supposed to, so we will have to get back to Frank Munich in just a little bit. Let's try him one more time. Frank Munich, are you there?